Hi everybody, Sandra here. It's February 18th, 2018, and I am in southern Baja. Dave and I are traveling in the truck camper that you see located behind me, which we bought in 2017 and completely redid, remodeled, refurbished. Today I thought I would give you a little tour of the inside of the truck camper. First, a few details about the camper. It is, we believe, a 1965 to 66 model Red Dale truck camper that was made in Longmont, Colorado. Dave and I acquired the camper in early 2017. It had been completely gutted, and the previous owners had done some repair work on the structure of the camper and some stuff on the inside that basically we kind of took out and started all over from scratch whenever we got it. So we basically stripped the inside of the camper down to just the frame, which is made of wood, and the metal exterior. It's got an aluminum exterior on all the sides and the roof. So we started from that and we worked to finish it to what you see today. During the process of redoing this truck camper, we did vlogs covering pretty much every part of the process, and all of those are included in a playlist called Truck Camper that I will leave a link to in the description down beneath this video. Now let's get into the tour of today. This is the door of the camper. It's the only door on the camper. It opens to the back. If I open it, you can see that we have the tailgate of the truck right there, which we use as a nice porch. A good feature of this door is the window that can be opened. It's got two little tabs, one here and here, and you pull those in and then you can slide the glass down to shut that window. I have it open right now to catch the nice breeze coming off the Pacific Ocean. When we want to lock ourselves inside the camper at night, we use this little latch. The door handle has that's like a little lock here, but it's not too secure. This is the door knob that was on this door when we got it. We'll probably eventually replace that with something that works a little better, but for now this has been working just fine. The curtains in the camper were made by my mom. My mom sewed them for me. Thanks, Mom. And they're all held on by these little alligator clips, and I'll show you the rest of those on the windows as we go around. This door was in kind of a little bit shady shape whenever we got the camper, but Dave, he did some things to it and stabilized it, and it's working great now. Immediately to the left of the door is our winter brand dual voltage 65 quart fridge freezer. We use this as a refrigerator. It does only have one chamber, and it is fridge or freezer based on what you set the temperature at back here. It can run on AC or DC power. We have it operating in the camper on DC. It runs a plug to this cigarette lighter type plug-in that is wired into our electrical system for the camper. This has been working out really great for us. I'll open it up and show you inside. Got all sorts of stuff in there to keep us fed. I did a video showing this in more detail when we got it, sort of an unboxing video. I'll put a link down below this video to that one. The good thing about this fridge is that it is not built into the camper, so we can take this out and use it in other locations if we want to do so. While it's in the camper, we've got these ratchet straps securing it so that it stays where it is. Next to the refrigerator, you'll see these Reflectex pieces. I cut each one of these, there are several, to fit exactly in all of the windows, and these work great in either hot or cold weather to help insulate the windows. I mean, it's really amazing what a good job that they do. Coming beneath the refrigerator, this little area that the fridge sits on, there is storage underneath here, and this one goes up to here, and we've got, like, this is kind of where we store things like some of our tools, some cleaning supplies, bug spray, stuff like that. I have these Bungee Nets that I got from Harbor Freight, and those are all put in place over the various cubbies and stuff inside the camper when we are in motion. Secure this one so that they hold all the stuff from flying out and going all over everywhere in here. Moving along, over here we've got sort of a bench seating area. We have this little cushion. This is simply some like high density foam that I cut into two pieces, one of which serves as the seat. It's just wrapped in a blanket, and then the other one I haven't covered with anything, but I do have this little Mexican rug blanket thing that we've been using over the top of that. Next to it, we don't have a cushion over this part because we tend to use this area as more of a step for stepping up into the bed. So we step up here, then there, and then climb in to the end of the bed. This box below, not only does it serve as a step, but it actually holds our battery. It's a little dirty in there because Baja is quite dusty. We'll be doing some serious cleaning when we get back home. This is our 200 amp hour battery that is connected to the solar panels. We have 300 watts of solar on the roof, and the power from that is stored in this battery, and everything inside the camper runs off of the electricity that's stored there. I also use this as a seat. Dave usually sits in this spot, and I will sit here when we're having a meal or something. As long as I'm pointing the camera down, I'll show you the floor in here, which is simply a piece of plywood. It's pine, and we put that down. It runs like across the whole full length of the camper, and I just sealed it, and I figure it's probably a really good solution for a floor. We've got these simple rugs over the top of it now. It just kind of helps us keep it clean, but yeah, it looks like a hardwood floor, and it can be sanded and refinished pretty easily. Coming along on the left side, this cabinet opens like this, and in here is a lot of our solar apparatus. I did a video that details all of our solar equipment. Once again, I'll leave a link to that down below. But we've got our inverter in here, our charge controller, and then all of the wiring and stuff is tied up very neatly in here, thanks to Dave. This is a 1000 watt pure sine wave inverter, and we use this for things, mostly for charging our laptop computers, but we also have a few batteries and things that we need to charge up every once in a while, and we use this for that purpose. Over here we've got another 12 volt cigarette lighter style outlet, which I have a USB adapter in. And then next to that is a outlet that is wired to a plug-in on the exterior of the camper, so that when we do have shore power or AC power available, we can plug that into the side of the camper, and then we can plug in things to this outlet to access that power. We don't store too much inside this cabinet right now just because when we're traveling we worry about like it shifting and falling into our electrical stuff over here, but I think eventually we're going to put some sort of a barrier right here, maybe like some wooden dowels, so that it still leaves it open for air ventilation, because this stuff does get warm as it's operating, and you want to have it sort of be able to have airflow. But if we put those there, I think then we'll be able to use this storage cabinet for more things. When we do plug our laptops into the inverter, we can close this cabinet and run the electrical cords through this little hole, and it allows us to keep this shut, so it keeps it nice and tidy in here. Here are some more of the curtains that my mom made, and I just put up these little command hook things and I've tied some wire around there, and that's what I've got the curtains hanging on. It's just a simple solution. Since we've been on our trip, I also sewed little Velcro tabs on the curtains, and that allows me to be able to secure the curtains right here so that they're not, you know, like right now it's pretty windy, but it keeps them from blowing open. The windows in here are the original windows for this 1960s camper, and they just are awning style, and they shut like this and open. And we've had no trouble whatsoever with like rain coming in through them. I mean, they seal up pretty good whenever you've got them closed. And you can, something I really like about them is that like if it's raining and it's not blowing sideways, you can have these open, and because they're awning style, you know, the rain doesn't come in through the windows, which is pretty nice. I've been putting up a few little hooks here and there, trying to keep it minimal, just to keep it uncluttered in here. But we've got some hooks here, and then there's a hook over here on the, over the back door that we hang the keys on. Some hats and stuff like that over here. Okay, so back this way. Shall I start first down here or up in the bed? I guess I'll cover the bed area. We have a 10 inch memory foam mattress. It's a queen size mattress, and originally the bed only came to where you see this wall back here, which was more of a, I don't know what size bed that was, but it was too small for Dave and I, so we extended this out, this platform, so that we could fit a queen size bed up here, and it's worked out just fine. This mattress is super comfortable. Plenty of room for both of us. We've got lots of windows up here. There are 4 windows, 1, 2, 3, 4 curtains. Above the bed is an escape hatch. That's what they call them. I'm not sure what you're going to escape from out of here, but it's nice because you can open it up and it provides a lot of ventilation above the bed. And the entire thing, including the screen, opens, and I can stand up here in the bed through this opening, and I can reach the solar panels that are on top so that I can clean them. Very handy. This bag over here contains clothing that we have in rotation that we're wearing, so that's kind of pretty much our clothing storage in here. During the day, whenever we are not sleeping in the bed, we use this area kind of to store some things. Like this has got our laptops in it, and there's just our pillows. Above the bed we have this LED rope light, and then over in the corner is a battery operated LED push button light, so that like in the night I sleep on the inside part of the bed, and if I need to get up or something, I can turn that little light on, and it doesn't put off a whole lot of light. It's kind of more like a little night light, but that's handy for in the middle of the night. that's pretty much it for the bed area. I guess I can show you that underneath here I did apply some real low carpet material in there, so that's what's underneath the mattress. Beneath the bed in this little area here, we have a door that goes into the back of the truck. Open this and there's the back of the truck. We took the back seat out of the truck and we use this area back here, this back seat area. It's kind of a closet is what we call it. So we have a bunch of stuff in here that we don't use all of the time, but a lot of it is close enough that I can reach through here and grab things and bring them in through this door. We've got one of those sliding glass doors on the back of the truck here. And that can be secured from either the outside here with a latch so that you can access it from inside the truck, or we've got this little latch here. Of course, you know, if you're gonna be wanting to access it from inside the truck, you need to make sure that you have pre-planned that and you don't have this one latched. Over here on the side of this cabinet that I showed you inside was our charge controller and stuff. This is more of our electrical stuff. This is just a meter that shows us a little bit about what's going on with the solar power. And then this is our fuse box, just like you would have a fuse box inside your house. All of our electrical and stuff in the camper runs into and through this fuse box. This little area here is nice for setting things and storage, but underneath here, and it runs across the front of the camper here, there's a little bit of storage in here. I put towels in here, but underneath that is our 25-gallon water tank, and we generally fill that with water that we're going to be using for just washing and dishes, stuff like that. We don't drink this water, especially, well, not down here in Mexico. We buy bottled water to use for drinking and cooking. Moving over, there's another cabinet here. Above that, that's the switch for the rope light that goes over the bed. And inside here, we have more storage. And also that is where our water comes in from the outside. It's the fill for the water tank. We've got one of those little pop lights in here. We've got a few of those throughout the camper for places where you just might need a little bit of light. And there's plenty of storage in here. We're thinking about adding some more shelves or some sort of organization kind of more in these spaces so that we won't have it just quite so piled in here. But down next to the water tank, there's quite a bit of storage down below as well. It's good for things that you're not accessing all of the time. Now we are moving along the right side of the camper, and this is sort of the kitchen station over here. We don't have gray water or black water tanks. There's no bathroom or shower in this camper, but we use this little bucket under our kitchen sink. The water drains through the sink into this bucket, and when it starts getting full, we take it and dump it. So that's our simple gray water solution. This is a little black plastic folding table that we use occasionally. Underneath there is some cubbies where we store our pots and pans. It's pretty deep. And then here's some more of the bungee net. I didn't take this one down. Usually when we're staying in a place for a while, I remove all the bungees and store them. But we're only going to be in this location for a couple of days. But I've stretched that across this whole front area here. There's two of them, one on the other side here as well. And that keeps everything that's underneath the cabinets in this area from sliding out when we're driving. And there's just a lot of storage underneath the sink area. Coming up to the countertop, this is the original sink for this camper. We reused it. The water is through a hand pump. This comes from the 25-gallon water tank I told you about and showed you. And it works pretty good. This is the original pump, and unfortunately it's like the internal parts are starting to wear out, so we've been kind of limping along with this, but these are easily acquired, so we'll get a new one. We'll get a new one to replace this when we get back home. Behind the sink area on the countertop, we've got this Lexan material that we put over the wall, and it's all siliconed so that water can't get onto excuse me, onto the wall or the paneling back there. Coming along on this side, we've got a nice window over the sink. This is where I hang our little mirror so we can look at ourselves and make sure our hair's not totally crazy. Up here we have a couple of switches. These are for lights. We've got these LED lights from IKEA here and here, and also underneath this vent. Those are easily directly wired into the electrical. When you buy them from IKEA, they come with a plug-in, but we just cut that off. This last button over here runs the exhaust fan that's over the top of our cooking area. Dave built all of this cabinetry and stuff in here, and one thing I want to point out is that some of the materials in here are reclaimed from various other things and projects that we've done. One of note is all of this wood that you see here, all this trim this is oak. And this comes from a really humongous park bench that I acquired, gosh, like 20 years ago for free out of a mall that was being remodeled. Anyway, I got this bench and I carried it around. We had it for years and years, and we didn't really use it. We just didn't have a need for a gigantic bench like that. So we just decided to cut up all of the wood from that bench and use it in the camper. And I think it looks really nice. Turned out really good. It was a good use of that material. Anyway, back to the vent hood. So Dave built all of this as well. Above it we have storage. We pretty much keep our spices and stuff up there. Here's the other Bungee Nets. And then below that is our Camp Chef stove oven. This is run off of LP, liquid propane. It's got the same kind of straps on it as the refrigerator to hold it in place, but we can easily remove this from the camper and take it outside or use it someplace else. The whole area in here has been covered with galvanized metal to protect the walls. This opens up, and we don't really use the little wind screens inside, but it's nice if you're going to try cooking with this outside. It's got an oven, which we have used a great deal. It works great. And yeah, that's pretty much our cooking and where we cook. And the propane is hooked up here in the back, and it runs through this wall. And then the propane cylinder is inside this compartment here, which is accessed from the outside of the camper. So that's what I've showed you so far. The bed over into the kitchen area. Beneath the stove is some more storage space. This area, it runs open all the way down into where we've got our pots and pans over there, and it's nice and deep. We've got this over the front, and we fit a lot of like canned goods, all of our food. Pretty much this is our kind of our pantry area, part of it anyway, and it works great. Next to that we have this upright pantry area, and we've got more food stored in there. We've got some of our dishes, up here, and then there are various things in this top compartment. Some of the things that we don't use a lot are kind of way back in this back part. We try to kind of organize things by keeping the heaviest stuff down lower in the camper and lighter things, as you know, up higher, because it just, in theory, it will travel better, you know, in the truck. We don't have a lot of, it's not as heavy towards the top. Inside these cabinets, the material that is on the bottom is of the shelves is cheap yoga mat from Walmart. I bought cheap yoga mat and I cut it up to fit in here, and it's really grippy, and it seems to work better than the stuff that they sell, like the drawer liner or shelf liner stuff that you can buy, and it's more economical to buy one of the cheap yoga mats, or at least at the price I paid for it, than it was to buy that stuff that they market specifically for shelves. And it does a great job. It keeps stuff from sliding around quite as much. Since we're in Baja, we've gone down some pretty crazy bumpy roads, and so this stuff does still shift around in here a little bit, but that's what the bungee nets are for. Once again, we've got 3 bungee nets that there are little screws on the inside that I attach the nets to, and that keeps everything, it may kind of shift around inside the cabinet, but it doesn't fall out. So it works well. And we didn't want to put doors on our cabinets because, for one, it's extra weight, and 2, I think that the fact that everything's open and not closed off contributes to the overall more open and less claustrophobic kind of feeling inside the camper, which is important, I believe, in a small space. Up here above kind of the kitchen area, we've got a fantastic fan. This fan runs either in where it blows in or it sucks air out, which is super nice for when we're cooking. We can turn it on suck, and also our little vent fan, and with the 2 of those going, it really gets the cooking air out of here fast. Or, you know, like we heat it up in here when we're cooking, it ventilates it super fast. Here's our other light. All the lights in here are LEDs. This one works either both sides, or flip the other way, it's just one. Seldom do we use all of these lights, you know, like at one time, but depending on what tasks we're performing, different ones work better for different things. This is probably the brightest light that we have, so if we really need to see something well, we turn this one on. But even at night or something, if Dave's cooking, pretty much all he needs are these 4 IKEA lights that are just over the cooking area, and they're a little dimmer than this other light. The rope light that I showed you over the bed, that's super bright. If we turn all of these lights on at once, it's really bright inside the camper. I mean, it's super well lit. Just looking around to see if I missed anything. I think that's about it. So I hope that you have enjoyed this tour of the inside of our camper. I think I covered everything pretty well, but if you have any questions about anything you saw or something that I didn't explain, you can ask me in the comments below, and I will do my best to answer those. Once again, we have lots of videos about the build of this truck camper, and there'll be a link to the playlist that's specifically about the truck camper down below this video, as well as some links to some various other videos that show some of our gadgetry and appliances and our solar power stuff. So check that out. Give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, give us some comments. Appreciate it. And that's all for now. Thanks a lot.